Hi, it's Cammy. Charlie talks football.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Charlie Talks Football. So finally we've got some transfer news. Newcastle are starting to make moves. So anyway, if you're new around here, make sure to leave a like. As always, make sure to subscribe. And anyway guys, let's get into the video. So as you know, Newcastle have been interested in Anthony Elanga, the Nottingham Forest player. Now, David Ornstein posted a exclusive story saying that Newcastle have made a bid of £45 million for Anthony Elanga, which has been instantly rejected by Nottingham Forest. So, yep, Newcastle are finally making moves. As we know, Elanga, I think Elanga would be a good signing for Newcastle. In my opinion, I think possibly 60 million might be too much money, but of course with the transfer market now and the fees that players are going for, it is understandable. But get your comments down below. What are your thoughts on Elanga? Do you think he'd be an improvement on Newcastle's squad? Do you think Newcastle will get him? Because of course Nottingham Forest don't want to sell the player. That's what they've told Newcastle, that Elanga is not for sale. So Newcastle are thinking about whether they want to put in a second bid for Elanga. And of course, we don't want it to be a Mark Gee situation, because Mark Gee was a player Newcastle put in a lot of bids for, and in the end, it just didn't happen. And we don't want this Elanga situation to repeat, where Newcastle put in a lot of bids for the player and Forest still say, no, we're not selling them. So my advice to Newcastle would probably be, probably put in a second bid, see if you can really test Forest maybe for about 50 million plus add-ons, maybe leading up to 60 million. And then if Forest reject that, I'd look at alternatives. Now, there are the alternative wingers that Newcastle have been looking at and that are on our list is Karim Adeyemi, the winger of Borussia Dortmund, Bakayoko from PSV, and Mohamed Kudus from West Ham. So comment down below, would you want any of these players if Newcastle don't manage to get Anthony Elanga? Now, a lot of you guys will be wondering, why have Newcastle, not really acted until just now? And that is because Newcastle are waiting until the 1st of July, because that's when the PSR financial statements come out, which means that after the 1st of July, this is when, I think Newcastle will really start to make major moves and have the money to sign all the players that the manager Eddie Howe wants. So the Elanga situation's interesting. Looks like we're now just deciding whether to put in a second bid for him. I think we will put in a second bid for him. I think Elanga would definitely be an upgrade on Jacob Murphy. He's a better player than him, despite Murphy having a very good season. I think Elanga's obviously incredibly quick. I think he's still got a bit of stuff to his game that he needs to work on, but for me this would be a good signing for Newcastle. And of course, if we can't get the player, we can easily move on, and there's plenty of other players that Newcastle could try and sign. So yeah, like I said guys, I'd expect not much to happen now until July, and I think that'll be the month where Newcastle will sign players. Now let's go on to another player that Newcastle have, of course, been interested in, James Trafford, the Burnley goalkeeper. Now, talks are still continuing. Fabrizio Romano said that the deal can only really be completed in July, so that means that you won't hear anything much now about Newcastle signing James Trafford until July. And I just want to say to you guys, I'm 100% sure James Trafford will be a Newcastle player. Talks are going on. This is a player who Newcastle have wanted for a while, that Eddie Howe wants. Of course, he kept the most clean sheets in the Championship. Will he be our starting keeper? That will be a question that I'll ask you guys in the comments, so get your comments down below. Will Trafford would you start Trafford ahead of Pope if we did get him? So talks are progressing, and for me, Trafford would be a good signing for Newcastle and a potential long-term replacement for Nick Pope. Now, on to the next bit of news now. This one is a bit random, but it came out that Newcastle are actually apparently close to signing a Korean wonder kid, Park Jung-sao, I think he's called. And he's only 18 years old, so another player for the academy. Apparently he is highly rated. Now this is actually as Newcastle get ready to go to our Asian tour, so this is clever marketing, I think, and clever business by Newcastle, because you bring him in, he either you know, doesn't do well and then you sell him, hopefully get some decent money for him, or he does do well and, you know, becomes a big success. So that'll be interesting. But anyway, guys, get your comments down below. What are your thoughts on the Elanga bid? Do you think Newcastle will sign Elanga? Do you think, you know, 60 million for the player is too expensive? So get your comments down below as well on Trafford. Do you think, would you want Newcastle to sign James Trafford? And also on this wonder kid player who was supposedly close to signing, what are your thoughts on that? Anyway, guys, make sure to subscribe for all the latest Newcastle United news. Hit the subscribe button as well. You know, I'm trying to be consistent. I want to do these videos as often as I can, so leave your support, leave your likes, turn the notification bell on, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.